Hi, my name is Judie VanKooiman, and you're watching Life Issues. My guests are Jon Younger, owner of Assisted Living Locator, and Anne Marie Brightman from Guardian Angels Senior Services. And the show is about elder care. Welcome, both of you.
Thank you, Judy.
Thank you.
Nice to see you.
You're very welcome. Thank you. And Jon, I'm going to start with you. How long have you owned your franchise, Assisted Living Locator?
Just a little over 3 years.
Okay. And you must enjoy working with the...
Absolutely love it. It is probably the most rewarding type of business, type of activity that I've ever done. A very needed service. I help people find assisted living and memory care and independent living. And it's just the greatest thing that I get is the reward of somebody saying to me, "Thank you so much, Jon, for finding this place. Never would have found it without you."
Yeah. Is that why you wanted to do this type of work, or is there something that kind of hit the head on the
Yeah,
nail on
the
head?
personal story. We all have our personal stories
Yeah.
in the health business, and my story is about 7 or 8 years ago. I had a very close family relative that was going through the process of with Parkinson's, going through the process of trying to find the best place where they could live healthy and safely. And it was really a challenge because what was happening is she actually moved into 3 places in 3 different years because she wasn't getting the care that she wanted. There were expectations that she had that weren't being met. So what I saw was the need for somebody to put themselves in the middle, in between the families and the facilities, communities, to help them educate them as to what to expect from the community, and for also the community what to expect from the resident, because if you don't talk about your expectations, then they're not going to get met. The resident doesn't know what's going to happen or what's not going to happen. The community doesn't know what type of a resident they're going to be getting. So really, because of all this, and it was so confusing and so daunting, and there's so many places to choose from, I came across this business model that fit perfectly to what I wanted to do, which was essentially educate people as to what to look for.
Yeah, I had never heard of anything like this before
Right.
until we connected. So, yeah,
Right,
so
right.
that's great. And what is Assisted Living Locator? You kind of basically told us about.
I'm a locator. I like to say I'm a locator. I
Okay.
help people navigate through the process of finding the best place to live, whether it's independent living or assisted living or memory care. We'll sit down a bit and talk about what are your issues, what are their issues, what do you need for medical support, what do you need, where geographically do you want to live, what do you have for finances, because assisted living is, depending upon your point of view, is a private pay. You pay out of pocket. And it can be expensive to some. Others are okay with that. And what I'm able to do is, as I'm asking these questions from the families, I'm covering those issues, and I'm already thinking of 2 or 3 different places that would make sense, so that I'm connecting the right person to the right place at the right time. And I've already gone out, spent the first 8-9 months of my business visiting all of the different communities out there, assisted livings, so I could understand what are the features and benefits, what are your expectations, who's a good resident, who's not a good resident, what are you able to do, because there's so many, and they all have their own, they're all very, very good, but they all have their own intricacies, they all have their own identities. So as I get to know the family, I'm already able to kind of match them to the right place. So they don't have to move 3 times in 3 years.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Emory, I'm going to switch to you. When did Guardian Angel Senior Services founded?
About 16 years ago,
Okay,
coming
so-
upon the 16th year.
Okay, so it's been out there. That's good. And who founded it and why?
So it was founded by a married couple, Dan and Melanie Lewis, and they're still very involved in the day-to-day operations. I just was with them yesterday in the Linfield office. But it was inspired really by Melanie and her grandmother. So when she was in college, her grandmother needed a lot of care and actually ended up going into a facility. And she ended up really regretting that she didn't leave college to be the primary caregiver for her grandmother. After college, she went on and worked in the finance industry for a little while, and that just wasn't for her. She had done caregiving. She had been a caregiver on the side, like part-time. And she decided one night, she was out to dinner with Dan, and he had a full-time job, and kind of on the back of a napkin, they said, what if we make this dream come true? Call it Guardian Angel, inspired by her grandmother, and start a little side business for to go on vacation and do what my mission is, what my calling is, and it really turned into a big organization. Dan left his job, he came and joined the team, and it turned into much more than just sort of the small, part-time, mission-driven side job that she had planned on. So it really does have a nice story to it, and it was really started with the heart of a caregiver.
Wow, it's exciting. And what is the mission statement?
So I brought a copy of it to read because I know Dan and Melanie's put a lot of thought into crafting it, and I didn't want to do a disservice.
No,
so I'm
go
going
right
to read
ahead,
it to you.
yes.
Our mission is to provide home care service with love to enhance the quality of our clients' living through our attentive yet subtle style of care, to maintain our clients' dignity and independence while serving their needs with honor and integrity. After all, it's their home. It's a lot to memorize.
That's very good. Yeah, those things are important, especially for elderly people.
Absolutely.
Right, yeah. And John, what is the process for your clients?
Well, the process, I touched on it a little bit a few minutes ago. The process is, the most challenging thing for me is to let folks know that I exist, that this service is out there. So once I'm able to get a phone call or an email or a text from a potential client, I will meet face-to-face with them. I'm not an over-the-phone, over-the-internet type of service. And we sit down and we discuss all the different things. Some of the different things I didn't talk about earlier is what's really important is to understand what they did when they were young, what they are interested in doing. You have a lot of inventors and artists and authors out there, and it's really good to find that out because there are certain places that may have more artists or more former teachers or policemen or something. So the process really is to give me a call, give me an email, and we'll get together on the phone and then in person, and we start touring together. I go to the communities with them because there's so many questions that need to be asked, and you don't know what to ask until you go through it, and you go through it again. It's very overwhelming. So I help them ask the correct questions so that they can get their answers done. I don't take over for the salesperson because they know their building better than I do, but there's always 2 or 3 things that people don't think about asking that are very important.
Right.
And my service doesn't cost anything. It's a free service.
Oh, wow.
I got to make sure I let people know that.
Wow.
I don't charge my clients any money.
I didn't know that.
Right.
Okay, very
Yeah.
interesting. Good. And what is the percentage of Americans 65 plus that will require long-term care?
Well, it's probably about 75%. It's probably about 75% are going to require some type of home care or assisted living care or other types of senior care options.
Wow, that's quite a bit. But I know a lot of people, elderly people, want to stay in their homes or be, in a facility where it's like a home type thing, and stuff. So it's very important. And John, in the next 40 years, what will the population grow to?
Oh, it's going to double. Over 70 years and older, it's going to double in the next 20 years, 40 years. So there's a huge need for folks like Anne Marie and myself and yourself that get involved too, just to make sure people understand what's out there. Be a resource. So many folks don't know that the resources exist.
It is very important. And Anne Marie, what are the service areas and specialties?
So we actually cover a huge territory. We have offices in Linfield, Billerica, and Worcester. So we say just call us, and we'll be very honest if we can cover the area or not, because we reach all the way from, like I said, Worcester to Ipswich to Boston, Littleton. I'm just kind of thinking of the outliers. And really, our specialty is we're really a company of caregivers. So starting with Melanie and then Dan, who actually got his home health aid certificate as well. I would say almost every single one of us that works in the office, we've been caregivers. So I've been a nursing assistant in a facility and a home health aide. So our specialty is really hiring caregivers that have the heart for this type of work. They're doing it for the right reasons, and then being able to support and supervise them and match them with our clients. So much like Jon, we do a free initial assessment, a visit, and we find out what are their interests, what are the needs, what's their personality like, and what do they want, what are their goals at home and their expectations of home care, so that we can really set the schedule as close to what they want as possible. If they want an alternative to moving to a community and want to stay in their home, or sometimes we even help people in communities as well if they need a little extra. So I think that fact-finding, listening, being able to match, and just the quality of the caregivers that we have out there, being a company of caregivers, are very differentiating factors to make us special.
Right. Okay. And how quickly can services begin?
We start services the same day sometimes. Unfortunately, a lot of people wait for a crisis to call us.
Yeah.
So they call us, the facility, the rehab's discharging us today, or we just found out that our certified nursing services are ending tomorrow, or we just talked to our hospice nurse and we need help starting right now with medications overnight. So we've started services in a few hours, and then we have other folks that are a little more proactive. We might be talking to them for a few months before we actually start providing services.
Okay.
Depends.
Right. So do you basically cover everything and anything for the client?
So we're not a medical service, so we handle, I sort of categorize it into 3 areas. Any level of personal care, so help with bathing, dressing, grooming, toileting, exercises. Then homemaking, so vacuuming, dusting, laundry, meal preparation, shopping. We've got whole list of everything we can do. And then the companionship, so engaging someone, maybe taking them out to lunch, playing a game of cards, Scrabble, talking about the newspaper, things like that. So those are the types of areas that we assist people with. We do have a nurse on staff, and we do have nurses on staff to support our primary services that we provide, but really it's that activities of daily living that we specialize in helping people with.
Okay, very good. And is Guardian Angels bonded insured?
We absolutely are. As you know, we're family-owned, not a franchise, but we all our caregivers are our employees. They're covered under workman's compensation insurance. We handle all the Social Security taxes and unemployment taxes and all of that. So absolutely, we are fully bonded and insured.
Okay. And Jon, how many baby boomers turn 65 every day?
10,000.
You got all the tough questions.
10,000. That's every 10,000 people are going to be 65 plus every day.
I've got a couple more years. Yeah, wow.
That's a lot of
We're
folks
getting
and
up there.
a lot of future coming up there.
Yeah, yeah. And after the age of 70, how many will need senior living or care solution?
Probably about 75%. The same answer as the last one with. So you've got, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to need care, and what's really interesting is 80 years old. That, and I can just attest to the only being here for 3 years. The average age of somebody who went into assisted living was 85. Today it's 88. So folks who are 80 years old today, we're going to live another 8 to 10 years.
Wow, that'll be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Jon, I saw an interesting fact on your website about 80-year-old seniors. Can you please share that with us?
Right. So what I just a little bit more from what I added to is that all is they're just all going to need all these options. It's going to triple over the next 20 years. The need for senior care and senior options is going to be tripling.
It's hard to think that far out there.
Yeah.
And stuff. That's very interesting fact. Yeah. All right. Thank you. And Anne Marie, does your company accept insurance?
We do accept long-term care insurance and work with most long-term care insurance companies, but we are private pay. We do have some contracts as well, so we have contracts with 4 of the veteran administrations. We work with some of the state aging service access points, some hospice and certified agencies, and we also have a contract with the Mass Waiver Program through the Mass Rehabilitation Commission. So there's a few areas if people are tapped into that can help to support. But as far as insurance, long-term care insurance.
And is there any kind of training that the employees go through before you place them in a home?
So we do a thorough orientation with all our caregivers, and we hire a wide spectrum of caregivers. So some come to us and they already are certified as nursing assistants or home health aides, medical assistants, nursing students. Then others may have gone through different types of just hands-on training or a different type of certification. So we do a lot of hands-on training. So our nurse will go out and train for a specific client and their specific need. So we do a combination of in-the-field hands-on training, both for those that come with less experience and those that are very experienced, because every individual is unique. And then we also do more classroom-style training with quarterly in-services with our staff on various topics that benefit all of them. And we ask them too for ideas for topics because we want them to really be pertinent to the types of clients and needs that they're seeing.
Okay, right. And is there a minimum number of hours for service?
We do not have a minimum, so we help people anywhere from 1 to 24 hours a day. Our rates, we have a range of rates, so we do charge a higher rate for shorter hours, but we will always try to accommodate as close to the schedule that a client wants.
Okay. And do you provide live-in service?
We do provide live-in services, and that's a daily rate as opposed to an hourly rate.
Oh, okay. Very interesting. And Anne Marie, is there anything else that you'd like to share with our audience?
I just think it's important, as important it is for people to choose the right community. I think it's important for people to choose the right caregivers and the right agencies to work with. Things don't always go smoothly in home care. It's challenging. There's a lot of logistics. We work with the schedules of adult children and just other things that our clients have going on in their lives. So it's important to have an agency that's responsive. We have someone assigned as sort of like a case manager for all of our clients, so I'll go out and meet them, but then I will also work with actually selecting the caregivers that are going to go take care of them and then managing them ongoing. So I think asking the right questions, what's the process of setting up services, how are my services managed ongoing, and what's the availability. We have someone on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So if something comes up and someone needs something outside of office hours, there is someone that can help them. They have that safety net. So I think that just that personal touch and making sure that, the agency sees you as an individual, and develops a relationship with you. It's not just all transactional.
Right.
And they demonstrate that they listen, to what your needs are and what you want, and that they're flexible, because it requires flexibility to be successful, to stay at home, I think. Managing all the different supports that come in and help our clients.
Right. And the client might be, the person coming into the client's home might be the only person that they will see maybe that day or for a few days, or even, there might not be any other visitors. Or
It can be. It can be.
Yeah.
Part of what I have a part in all of our orientations as well. We all, step in. And, what I say to all our caregivers is when we come into the client's home, we're bringing the sunshine. So, we're there not only to do the tasks that, we're there to do, but to really be an uplifting force in our clients' lives and be something positive, something that they do look forward to, and not something that they necessarily feel they have to have. Almost forget about the reason why they need us there, because they do find the visit enjoyable. And that's why that matching is so important, that we really take a lot of care to do. We actually do little bios on all of our staff, and we share that with families and clients before they go out, because we really see our caregivers as people, not just a worker who's done this for this long and lives in this area. We know them as people, and we present them as people to our clients because it's a match, it's a relationship. So I tell everyone too, we work as hard for our caregivers as we do for our clients because our caregivers are our company. So I just think that philosophy that not only I have, it comes from the top with Dan and Melanie to everyone that works there, I think makes a difference, and people see that difference when we go into their homes.
That's great. Thank you. And John, is there anything that you'd like to share?
Sure. This is a great synergy, these two philosophies that we have. Everybody wants to stay home, and I think that's a great objective. The only issues that come up are social isolation, and when it becomes unsafe to stay in the home.
Agreed.
Too many stairs, too many scatter rugs that people can trip over. And just the whole social isolation part of things can be very depressing. So what I want to just tell people is try to plan. Try not to make it an emergency when you choose to either get some in-home services or go try to find an assisted living. Don't wait till you're in rehab and have to leave quickly. I probably get just as many calls as you do that I've got to get out of this rehab in 3 days. It's happened 3 times to me this week.
Wow.
I'm able to service them and help them, but it's a little more challenging and stressful
Right. Very
for the
stressful.
individual who's got to get out in like 2 or 3 days. So by all means, try to plan. Try not to wait too long, because also if you wait too long, you're not going to enjoy the folks who are coming in to take care of you. You're not going to enjoy the place you're going to be living if you go to assisted living. And the one final comment I want to make is this is very important. The decision that you make for assisted living deserves much more than just an internet search. You want that personal, hands-on, and the same thing when
definitely.
choosing home care. Go on the internet, find some information, but then pick up the phone and call the
Yes.
person.
That's very important, that voice.
Yeah.
Voice, yeah. Yeah, because, people are, like you said, are staying in their homes, longer or in their communities, and that's important, They want, the latter years should be their happy years, and stuff, so, everything, so great. All right, and John, if anyone has any questions, can you give us your contact info?
Sure. Email address is jayyounger@assistedlivinglocators.com.
Okay, thank you. And Anne Marie, if anyone would like more information about Guardian Angels, can you give us your contact info?
Sure. The phone number is 781-854-4000, and my email is abrightman@gaseniorservices.com.
All right, thank you. I'm sorry, but that's all the time that we have. Thank you both for all you do for those in need. I love to hear your thoughts and suggestions. Please send them to lifeissuestv@gmail.com. And remember, live each day to the fullest and celebrate life.
They took over my bedroom. Come on, come on. Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. Dad! You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
It's okay to be scared. You don't have to be so strong.
Strength is not optional. This is my mother, my purpose. Real muscle is lifting her spirits between bedpans and bad news from doctors that doubt her strength. Strength is buried in bills, managing meds, and swallowing those moments of, Mom, it's me, your daughter. Remember? My strength is super, but I'm still human, right?
Look who's here. There she is. Hey, thanks for your patience.
How you feel?
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community, or call 1-877-333-5885